All right. All right. We're live.
Yo,
Hi, guys.
what up, podcast? Who's in chat?
Not very many people, actually. A little bit
What are these guys
interesting.
doing, dude?
We got Hectorius. We got
Who's
Judd.
always here?
We got Trey. Jeff Light. What is up, everybody? Wow, that sucked. What's up, everybody? Jake's in the chat.
Jake's actually watching live. That's a new one.
Mile High's up in chat. Hi, guys.
What up, Mark?
It is Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's time for that weekly drift talk thing that we do. So we've got our normal guys, Logan and DJ here. They're just chilling out. DJ said that he doesn't actually have a project to work on, you guys. So that's kind of impressive and
So we have to shame him.
kind of...
No, you guys should be worried. Time to
He's
buy
gonna
another
actually
golem.
talk this time. So now we're in for.
Right. What happens when DJ is actually active in the
Shoot, I bet
conversation?
you started car X lobby.
Damn.
Oh, look, Mark in with the spleen machine tag. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
It's funny, I think if we're looking at words per dollar on super chats, DJ is absolutely blowing us out of the water.
Oh, I know, right? Everything about spleen machine. And just for the record, how long ago was that, DJ? Like, how long have you been spleen machine?
Have you been spleenless?
No, it's still there.
Oh, you still got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't remove it, but it was in February of last year. So
It's a year. It's been
Over a year.
All right, you guys.
Spleen.
As you can see, we've got some new guests on the show. We've got Chris here and Esha, husband and wife. So that is a power couple. Power couple
And track owners.
and track owners. So we're going to be talking about that as soon as we get to it. Hey, this weekend we're going to do calendar and all that stuff, and we'll get into it. This weekend is the Northwest Hobby Expo. I'm going to be going up there. It's going to be Saturday. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. DJ's going to be up there. Logan's kind of a... Oh, definitely not. Okay.
Nah,
Darn,
I'm picking
Logan.
him up. My dad's got the trailer.
I'm
DJ
gonna go hang out with Doug.
Rent
So
free. Gonna hang out with dad.
yeah, we'll be up there,
Watch
but not
baseball and
going
hockey.
to the expo.
Well, so if you're not Logan, the expo is basically the biggest Northwest event for us RC nerds. It has everything from like our RC drift cars to a full racing circuit to airplanes, quadcopters, boats, battle bots, all that cool stuff.
Excavators.
Yeah, the
Dump
construction RC stuff is actually pretty cool. Like, it's cool watching it.
In another life, I could easily be one of those guys.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. April 26th, my bad. First SDC competition of the year for Oregon region. So if you're there,
Mr.
show up. It'll be fun. It'll be fun regardless of what you're doing. There's a downstairs track. There's an upstairs track. We'll figure out how to inform everybody properly. Because that'll be an interesting feature. Do we have a hole that we can pass through cables?
At the track?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make a hole.
Okay. Then it's easy.
We can make it happen.
Who will be the first to convert the RC10 semi into a drifter? Yeah, I saw that. Did you see that? The associated like semi thing. It's interesting.
I bet either Mark or Ron from Tandem.
It's probably gonna be Mark, or Mark has probably already done it. Just
He's
not
like, I
with the
already have a
associate-
semi drift truck.
Mark, give me one.
Mark's like, I already built a double axle semi drift truck.
Yeah, tow rig.
I don't see too many trucks.
Okay, before we really get started, I'm going to go ahead and post the Discord link in here. So we do have a section called Roast My Rig that we usually do, and each little Thursday night session that we do. That's a place where you can post pictures of your chassis. We can roast it online if you'd like, or we can just talk about it, see how nice it is, see how nice you did on the wiring. Wiring is critical. We are wiring snobs here, so more so soldering
and wiring. Yeah, that makes it build.
My pictures are going to give you a heart attack. Wiring is not my thing.
There are some people that we kind of sometimes just skip because we know who they are, and we've seen them many a times.
One more calendar event. We are officially doing Drift to Death from August 8th to the 10th.
Has the official name been released?
Revealed? No, It hasn't yet because I'm slacking so hard. I just have a lot of other things that I'm working on. So I haven't finished like the flyer, and I need to make the t-shirt and everything. So
t-shirt.
Yeah, we're working on it. It'll be soon. Like, I'm giving myself a hard deadline of this weekend.
Nice.
And we'll do that.
Chris, did you post your pictures in Discord, or do I just have them?
No, I think you just have them. I think I sent them just straight to you on Facebook.
Okay, that's easy enough. We can make that work. All right, so coming in from Detroit, we've got Chris and Esha here. They are the sole proprietors of Drift Dojo and their track. So, Chris, Esha, I want you to take a few moments. I don't really care who goes first, but go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Yeah, so my name's Chris. Like you said, I'm the owner, operator, front desk man of Drift Dojo. We've been open for about 5 months now. We're in the Detroit metro area, just a little bit north of Detroit proper. 1/10 scale drift track, working on getting, more merch and stuff like that in, and P-tile track, or J-tile, I guess, more specifically. And I've been really enjoying the hobby. So, yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Esha?
Well, thanks for having us. Chris asked if this was something that I'd be interested in about 2 years ago. He showed me a video of RC Drift, and I said, yeah, let's go try it out. So we went to a track called 517 Drift in Jackson, loved it, and bought a ready to run. And we've been in this ever since. We've probably gone to 7 tracks, 2 different countries even.
2 different countries.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, to Canada.
Canada.
Huh? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Canada track is actually closer than the other Michigan track.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sick. That's sick. So were you said Chris kind of just asked if you were like interested in it. Were you at all into any kind of motorsport or drifting before that?
I used to go to the track a lot just to watch races with my dad and my
Okay.
brother, but
Oh,
I
cool.
never did any driving or drifting myself.
Sick. So you're just like, he asked you about it and you're just immediately like on board. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous. My partner does not give 2 shits about RC drift and wants nothing to do with it. So.
Oh, we hear that a lot,
That's
so
okay.
I feel for you.
Yeah. Makes it a lot easier to justify all the RC drift expenditures when she's on board.
Right. Yeah. So that was what I was kind of leading to. You said you guys kind of got into the hobby how long ago?
2 years ago.
About 2 years. Yeah.
So that's a pretty very similar to Judd, our track owner out here, but that's a pretty short time frame from getting into the hobby to owning a track, right? That's pretty short to me because I've been doing it about as long as you guys have. So,
Awesome.
what was it about the hobby that made you guys ready to commit to such a big ordeal so quickly?
So yeah, I guess for me it was mostly just wanting to drive more and get out more. The track that like we started at 517 Drift was the better part of a 2-hour drive, and I was making that drive, multiple times a week, and 2-hour drive one way. So we're just like I want to do it more. I want to have my own place where I can, be open more and drive more and get more time in, and really just try to grow the hobby really, because with it being 2 hours away, there's a whole different slew of people that might be interested that just wouldn't even consider driving that far for it, right? So really hoping to try to get more people from the Detroit area interested in the hobby.
Hey, that
So
sounds familiar.
is that 2 hours away, like in a direction that makes it not conducive for people that live in Detroit?
So it's 2 hours west, and there's a certain amount of people that like live west of Detroit, so it works for them. But really, a lot of people in Michigan live north of Detroit, and there's not really a good way to get to the southwest side of the state from the north. So
Where is it? Like in where's that
So
other
it's
track
Jack-
at?
yeah,
Jackson?
that track's in Jackson.
Okay.
It's about 30 minutes west of Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that, I mean, there absolutely is just obviously room for a track in such a large metropolitan area like Detroit.
Right.
So was that something that kind of helped you decide the route of opening a public track? Was like you knowing that you guys had a lot of people that were already kind of, willing to support that kind of thing?
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of that, and the fact that there's another private track in a similar area to us, about half an hour away. So I just kind of wanted to be able to offer more options for people who might be interested, because they're the Drift Ninja guys. That's the private track.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really the backbone of the hobby in this area, and they've been around for years, even before tracks were available to them, really.
Mhm.
So just trying to give back to that community as well, and just be like, I know you guys are there. I know you guys are interested. But it's not every day that the guy, Ricky, that owns the track can have the track open, right?
Yeah.
So just having a public place that's, okay, here's our hours. If you want to come drift, right?
Yeah.
And just giving more options for people.
Yeah, because I mean, you could have easily, from what you're saying, like if you just wanted to drive more, like opening a whole track is not the shortest path to resolve that problem, right? So there's a whole slew of other things you could do.
I want to drive
resolve that.
more.
So,
I'm gonna open a track. Okay.
I'm gonna open a whole track. So yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
extreme, but I love it, man. Like so dedicated to it that you're just willing to take this on. Are you guys? Do you guys have like day jobs or anything like that?
Yes, we both work full time during the week.
Nice.
Ooh, the
Yeah.
hustle.
So
That's a
that's the
hustle.
challenge.
Right.
And
Yeah, I gotta
think-
have the one job to pay for the other job.
Yeah, our track here is in a similar situation, right? Like, so Judd is he works full time, during the week. So our hours are limited and not super consistent because his travel and his commute is not going to be, a set schedule every day. So one of the challenges, but when you have a big community of people that's willing to put up with that, and it works out.
Yeah, we try to do our best on the consistency front, but stuff comes up, and it's not like I want this to feel like a second job, right? So if there's like an event or something going on, or if Ricky's hosting at his place, we'll close the track and be
Right.
like, hey, let's go to their track for tonight, right?
Yeah, get everybody, get our community to all be at the same place at the same time is
Right.
good call. Which one of you had the initial idea to open a public for-profit track?
That was all Chris.
Was it me? Okay, I'll take your word for it. It's all
Yeah,
a blur.
it was one of those drives to or from with just more traffic than usual and
Yeah.
reroutes. And he's like, I've really been thinking about opening a track. It'd be so nice to be able to come out here after work and not have to go far and then be on the weekends. He's like, what are your thoughts on that? I said, wow, this is coming out of nowhere. Let me think about that. But after a while, we asked all the questions and we had a conversation like, okay, I can see this working. And now I'm so grateful for it. And
That's cool.
the community, as you were talking about earlier, has really kept me in the hobby as well, because just about everywhere we've gone, we felt welcomed and
Yeah.
have had a good time. People are so encouraging and they'll pick on me in a friendly way, and just laugh at each other. It's been fantastic. So I'm proud of them.
It's something I always think about, but if you can't crash or mess up and have your friends laugh and your response is kind of to laugh back, it's that's not really you're not really in the right place. You need to be in a different place because it's supposed to all just be fun. But
Right.
so you guys had that car talk right on the way home and he brought it up. How long did it take for you to be fully on board with it?
I want to say about 3 weeks because that
Wow.
is when he started sending me track guidelines and stuff to
Oh,
review and logos. I was like, wow, this is moving a lot faster, which I should have known because anything he's into, he is all in, all confidence, no worries. I don't know how he does it.
All gas, no
I
brakes.
wish I had some of that. But once we started looking for a place, it was just all set and smooth sailing. So it just worked out.
Nice.
Super cool.
Your memory is different than mine. I was like, it's taking us so long to find a place, and I just can't find a place I like, and I felt like it was dragging on.
Oh,
It
no.
was like a month and a half that he was looking for a place. I mean,
Yeah.
people look for houses much longer than that.
Yeah, that's one of my first pieces of advice for anyone who is looking to go in this direction is just you can be really patient with finding a location, because the perfect place, one, it's not going to exist, and two, like, they're few and far between. It just takes time for those things to pop up. And you also learn more about the market the longer you get more connected. A lot of the times it's not about how attentive you are to the listings. It's more about just who you know and who knows what is available, right? A lot of that stuff is kind of by word of mouth before things even hit the market officially, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's okay to be just be really patient. It's going to take you a while to find a spot, especially with the way things are.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Like we looked for a while ourselves and didn't have much success. But then I was talking to guys at work, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know somebody that does commercial real estate." And then like once I got that hookup, things really started moving.
Mhm.
Yeah. You met someone that because you meet that one connector person, and they're gonna have all the ins and outs of what's going on, and they can help you. It's definitely better to have someone like that to help you, especially if you're kind of new to it all.
Yeah.
Use your resources.
Yep. So how long? We have a question from another Chris, one of our locals. I'll translate it a little bit, but how long from
Translate.
you bringing up the idea to Esha, how long before that were you already kind of like wanting to do that?
I don't know. I'd been toying with the idea for a little while, maybe a month or so,
Mhm.
but nothing like kind of entertaining it in a wouldn't it be funny if kind of mentality. But like once I kind of went from wouldn't it be funny if to no, I think we could actually do this, and I started like running the numbers and everything. Like I pretty much made the decision pretty quick from there that okay, I think this is actually doable. It's in the budget. We can make it happen. So
For sure.
Sick.
And has it been like, what's the word? Has it been a smooth sailing, or has it just been a left and right curveballs all day long?
it's been kind of smooth sailing, and it's been like stuff I was expecting and stuff I wasn't expecting, and there's like stuff I was expecting that was smooth sailing and wasn't, and then vice versa, right? So it's just like, oh, I just didn't realize how much business paperwork there was. So
Oh.
like and like inspections and like getting all that stuff and like taxes, like just the business side of it was way more than I was expecting. So I've been having to do a lot of learning in that category, right? But then the actual like convincing people to come out, that was way smoother than I thought it was going to be. Like the community's great, the guys were great. We got people that drive in every weekend, so like it's glad that they made that part easy on me, so I could focus on the stuff that I wasn't really expecting.
How much did you guys have to do much work to the unit when you got it, the keys, or was it pretty turnkey?
So it was already an empty space, so we didn't have to like demo anything, which was nice. Since we're putting down J-tile, we didn't need the like floor to be great or anything, but there was some remnants from the previous owners that we had to just grind down, like installation shafts and stuff like that to make the floor a little bit better and everything. But outside of that, we didn't have to do like any like real big renovation of the
Sick.
space.
No, and it looks good too.
And
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
I love the high ceilings. That's awesome. Makes it feel so much better.
Yeah, it's something that we're like not necessarily sold on. It's like if I had them, great. If I didn't have them, it would be fine.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get some connections in with like mini RC drone racing because like we could put a track up there and that would be sick.
That'd be very cool.
So you obviously decided to go straight to the J tile. What was kind of involved in the decision of that? Was it just that the price wasn't too much more? Is that just something that you always wanted?
I can take that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna shout out another track here because since we've been to so many tracks, the first one we went to had P-tile was Indiana Drift. And when Chris was mentioning setting up a track, he was like, well, what do you think of P-tile or J-tile? Because you like driving at Indiana Drift so much. Drift in. I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. So we calculated it and it was able to work. And I feel like the grip is so consistent and you're able to stay in a decent speed with everybody.
Yeah.
But take it away, honey.
No, like, yeah, that all very true. And like another consideration for me was, if we decide in another year we want to find another space or something, we can just pull it up and take it with us, right? Where if something like polished concrete, like that's there.
Yeah.
So it's really a lot more of a commitment.
Yeah.
So it just kind of worked. And then we also got lucky that Super G had just redone their like layout or their expansion, so they had a bunch of extra stuff that they were selling. I just yoinked all of it.
Nice.
So we got it for a really great price.
Yeah, I'm thinking the
States.
timeline. Yeah, because we switched our old track to P-tile over the summer last year. So we were one of the earlier ones after they started advertising selling it. We didn't get on like the first batch, but we were the second or something. But yeah. I remember there being like other tracks that got like leftovers basically. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool.
Jake is asking if you glued the tile down or did you just set it down?
Sounds like they didn't.
No, we taped like sets of 4 tiles to each other on the back and then put those down, and then we just have track barriers. So like there's like a edging on the wall. So we like put the first row underneath the wall edging. Okay. And then put all the other stuff in, and then put like lawn edging butted up against that, and then tape the lawn edging down. So it's all just kind of friction fit in there.
The walls have like the vinyl kind of border, and then the tile goes under that, and then you have the no dig on the outside. What kind of tape did you use to tape the tiles together?
So this is my recent life hack is something called gaff tape or gaffer tape.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Okay.
It is the perfect amount of like being a fiber tape like duct tape, so it's got really good tensile strength, but it's not so sticky and leaves like a ton of residue. So like we tested a bunch of stuff on the tile, and that stuff just like goes on super strong, and then it pulls off with no residue. It is great. I bought like 40 rolls of the stuff after I found it.
Yeah. We used Gorilla Tape, and I don't know. It seems like it's working, but we'll see what it's like, removing it.
Right.
Sure.
That was my thought.
Yeah. But, what did we use, Jake? Was it the 3M tape?
No, it's probably the cheap, like, Amazon China stuff that doesn't grab as much.
Oh, it's the 3M.
We used the 3M, and then like there were some spots where the tiles were lifting up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not sticking super well.
Yeah, so we used the Gorilla tape in those spots.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, because the back of those J tiles is very coarse.
Mm-hmm.
And hard to find something that sticks to it.
Yeah, it's been really good. The brand we have is ProGaff tape, and it's been pretty reasonably priced and pretty available to get. So
that sounds like the move. Definitely agree with taping them. Like if you're not going to glue the tiles down, tape them in groups of 4, and there you go, gaff tape. That's the move. So was there any consideration of using just like a standard P-tile like from America, like the Armstrong stuff or something, or was it just the opportunity existed?
So like part of it, so we did price out like a Home Depot VCT kind of tile. And it was since we could pick it up, we didn't have to ship it. Like that'd have been better, but the cost was actually more expensive than what Super G was selling their tile for. So when you counted both for the price of the tile and the shipping, it's like, well, we're trying to kind of, mimic Super G to an extent, right?
Yeah.
Their tile, their surface, their style, right? Yeah. So we're like, might as well get the real article.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exactly our decision. It was mostly like the pricing between going to Armstrong or the J tile was kind of close enough that way it was like, well, this would be better because it's specifically what they use, and that's most of our goals are to go to Super G and compete at Worlds. So it was pretty easy to be like, yeah, the J tile, we might as well practice on that if we're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about just like day-to-day stuff for the track. And all y'all who's talking about like investments and breaking even and stuff like that, let's keep that out of the chat. That's not a place for that here. But as far as the track goes, how is it like? How much does it cost to come and play, like per day? What's the spec tire? All that the track regulations. Tell us about that.
Track goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to handle that, Hun, or?
Sure. If you have your own car, it's $20 a day on the weekends. After work on Thursdays and Fridays, it's half off because you have less time to drive. Rentals is $10 for 30 minutes. And the spec tire is DS Racing LF3s, and I really like the LF3s on the J tile. DRCs are great, but for me, the LF3s get better grip.
Do you allow a mix between either tires, or is it just spec tire only?
LF3s on all four corners.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to a lot, like have some people running DRCs, but it's just like, I don't know, I feel like people like play too many games when there's two different tires, right? And I just prefer for us all to be on the same level and then just like tune from there, right?
Yeah. It makes so much sense to have everybody on the same tire. It's like kind of silly. I've seen a lot of tracks offer like, C or P, and it's just like, just put it on one. There's no reason. It's not like it. Just have everyone on the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was some like sourcing issues for a little while, which is why we started that way.
Yeah.
But now that we were partnered with DS Racing, their prices are really good. Their inventory was really great. We got a big shipment of them,
Pretty
so there's
fast,
really no reason that we shouldn't be able just to run LF3s.
Yeah.
Right on.
I guess question with the LF3s, because I see a pink set of tires up there. Do you guys allow the pink sets on your guys' track?
Yes.
So we allow the pink sets, yeah, but for competition, we're going to run all the same thing. I don't know if they're really that different or not, but just remove any reason for anybody to complain about it, right?
Yeah, of course. I think what DJ's getting at is like we had kind of messed with the pink tires on like some spare pieces of tile, and it could kind of look like you could see a little bit of the pink transferring to the tile. So
interesting.
Who knows how bad that actually is in real life, but
Whose car was it on?
I don't know. I wasn't actually there, but I mean, I was
Jake
just like,
running his burn.
If you sit there and do a burnout on the tile, even the black LF3s leave a mark. So
I mean, so like I've been running the pink ones for a while, and really on at least with my tune and what we've got going on, the tire takes the worst of it. The tile itself has been pretty good.
Yeah, if you've ever moved around that tile, you know how strong it is, especially if you've had to carry a bunch of it, with nothing on the back. That will rub your fingers raw.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jake, this man is calling you out. Apparently we talk about it enough on this stream that it's there.
I mean, he's out there being like, I was gapping people all day and it just wasn't fun. So, keep up, guys. So got to call him out on it.
So do you have any like, I know you haven't been open long, but do you have any like big Matsuris or competition events that are being planned that are in the works?
Yeah, we actually just posted the details today. In fact, our next big event's a double header. So it's May 17th and 18th, I believe, are the dates. So the Saturday is going to be a competition day. and then the Sunday is the Matsuri. So one fee gets you in for both days, and gets you a set of tires and your comp fee, a shot at prizes. We're going to do like drift games, pizza and tacos, I think are on the menu. So yeah, that's hopefully going to be our big event here.
Right on.
Nice. Are you guys participating in either of the major like competitive series, either SDC or IRCDF?
So we're not doing, just from a timing perspective, like we're not doing any of that this year.
Mm-hmm.
And really that one, to me, I don't have like a personal like investment in. Like if the people come and the people want to do it and we have the people to justify it, then I'm more than happy to host it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be offended either way, right?
Yeah. Do you guys do like your own series, or will you just kind of have competitions throughout the year?
We did look at doing like a league kind of deal, and there just wasn't enough people that could come consistently enough. Like Saturdays really seems to be people's schedules, and I didn't want to make Saturdays competition days. Like I want people to come and have fun, right?
For sure.
So I'd prefer to not do competition and have everybody come and have fun versus sacrifice that for people to compete, right?
Yeah.
So if we can get enough people, then we'll make it happen. But I want to keep Saturdays by and large fun days.
That's totally reasonable. Like we used to do a competitive day every week at the old track, and it was on Tuesdays. But yeah, you definitely don't want to give up one of the main like actually driving days to comp days. That's not going to work out very well. So it sounds like you guys aren't even really, I guess you guys kind of just listen to your community, but it sounds like people that come out aren't super focused on competing.
Yeah, not as much. I guess Esha, let me know if you've heard different, but most of the guys that want to compete, like we have another track that's about 2 hours away, Lunar Drift in Mentor, Ohio, and they run SDC. I know Drift In, they're about 4 hours away. They do SDC as well. So it's certainly a drive, but for the people that really want to do it, they do have some inconvenient options at a minimum.
Oh, you could boat across the lake, dude. That's what I would do. Sail over.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm on my way. I'm gonna take a boat.
Yeah, cool. So do you guys what's the like footprint area of your track?
So the track itself, and pulling these numbers a little from thin air, I believe is 16 by 42. It's not quite a square track, so there's a little bit of shenanigans in there.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
And then the building itself, I think, is like it's like 22 wide by like 60 long, something like that.
Nice.
And where you're looking at that picture, once it starts in that diagonal, that is actually all a recent expansion, which people came out and helped us, and that was very cool and appreciative.
Cool.
Oh, there you go. This is showing it to you.
Oh.
I'm digging that. I like how you got like some dividers there that you can throw in and out to kind of change up the layout pretty quickly. That's pretty cool.
So for your long barriers, what kind of material are you using for those?
So, for the lawn ones are just like an Amazon like special that we ordered. So those are some sort of soft rubber material. I don't even exactly know what they are. The kind of scale concrete barriers are just 3D printed, so they're PLA.
Right on. I saw your road, the big road cones that you'd printed off on your Facebook page. Those are pretty cool too.
Yeah, we're going to start having those set up so we can do the drift games for the event, to the drift limbo and backy comp and stuff like that. So wanted to have some placeable targets for people.
Heck yeah.
Right on.
Chris is a 3D printing wizard.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's a hobby that goes so hand in hand with RC drifting or any RC hobby, but yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, those are cool.
So these are the medals we're giving out for the May 17th competition. The first through third are going to get these medals as part of their prize pool.
Right on.
Creative mind with engineer skills.
What kind of a printer are you using?
Using a Bamboo X1C
Gotcha.
with the AMS system.
Ooh.
Wow. Fancy.
Yeah, I've been doing 3D printing for about 10 years, so I figured I was about due for a new one. So got that a couple
I
months
am
ago
too.
now. Oh, very nice.
My trusty V2.
Have you started doing any prototyping for like any of your own designed parts? Oh, there's a nod.
Oh,
Are you
yep, here
There's
it
a
gonna
comes.
nod.
Here it comes.
So I was working on this today.
Oh my god.
Holy cow!
Dang.
Yeah, this is a long-running project.
What the heck?
But yeah, it's a fully. I'm trying to do a fully printed car
Oh, with trailing
a
arms.
trailing arm.
Oh, what the hell?
Not
That's
Yeah,
sick.
the general idea being is like I like cars with a lot of movement, but I don't like the camber gain that usually comes with a lot of movement.
Mhm.
Sure.
So by having the trailing arm, the camber stays consistent all the way through the squat profile.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's get a lot of use out of that printer.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Bet Mark will like that if he's still here.
Already going off the RC rails here. Miles asking, what do you think about the new Bamboo Labs printer that just released? I have no idea what he's talking about.
So to me, I assume he's talking about the large form factor one, and it's one of those things like conceptually I like it, but if you're using the same like print nozzle size because you want the same level of detail, your print times kind of get ridiculous. So it's like if you're printing stuff that's low resolution and you can go to a bigger nozzle size where you can functionally print it bigger for the same amount of time, then I think it's a great idea. But just going bigger for the sake of bigger, I'm not necessarily that interested in.
I get that. But you're also like the envelope that is required for RC, for example, is not, the smaller ones handle that usually just fine. I mean, I guess if you're doing like a full chassis or something, you could get into some
Right.
trouble, but for the most part, the size of like the standard bamboos is good enough to do almost anything RC related.
Yeah.
Jeff Light, at your track, do you offer rentals? So we know you do. What rentals do you offer?
So this is kind of a touchy subject to me because obviously if you've ever driven anywhere that has rentals, it's usually a time where most of us would not be, we would probably just, take a break for that period of time. It sounded like I like the way that you guys are doing it because it's like from the get-go, it's like a limited amount of time that is going on. But yeah, I mean, what's y'all's experience having rental cars at the track, and how do your non-rental drivers like that?
I think it seems to be pretty positive so far. We have MST 2.5 ready to runs for rentals, and they're first come, first serve. And we always explain to people what a gyro is, what it does, and that they're expensive cars, so we don't want to play bumper cars with it. And you don't need to go as fast as you can go because, well, you're going to lose your grip and you're just not going to be able to drive as well.
Yeah.
But we had someone who came in and just did fantastic with a rental, and we just kept telling him every time he came in, you need to get your own car, you need to get your own car, you need to get your own car. And now he has his own car.
That's the beautiful part of it. Obviously I want to bring people in, and I know that the barrier to entry is really high. So I'm for rentals in that aspect, but I've been places where I've literally seen entire tracks clear out because there's some rental drivers on the track that don't exactly understand really how, because it's kind of hard to explain to people that, especially if someone that's not into drifting at all, they're just thinking RC cars, cool, play with them toys. It's like, yeah, it's not really a race, and you're not really meant to be full throttle all the time, and you have no grip, so you can't stop. You know what I mean?
So what we do, and it's a bit of an awkward conversation to have, is, we talk to the parents and we're like, this is not Chuck E. Cheese's, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like we offer this for the specific reason of knowing it's expensive and wanting to try it. Like we understand that, but it's not come in here because you got a half hour want to trash on our cars, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a hard conversation, but I think it's one that ultimately benefits everybody, right?
Yeah, that's huge. I think you do have to do that, especially when you have younger, guests that are wanting to do it. Yeah, that talk with the parents of like, hey, this is actually like, I know these are like fun toys, but this is actually kind of a serious hobby that you're looking at here. So yeah, that's good though. Yeah, have that conversation with the parents or with the driver if they're old enough.
So this actually kind of comes into what you brought into Facebook chat with me, Chris. You said that one of your biggest goals is to make sure that everyone always has someone to drive with. So you'll always jump on the track so someone has a car that they can keep pace against. So
right.
I guess what's your fourth or your behind the scenes thinking about that? I have a pretty good idea, but
yeah. So for me, just kind of in what very limited experience I have so far, kind of being in this side of the hobby, is that the new people attrition is really kind of a little bit depressing, from an initial standpoint, right?
Sure.
So it's like
steep barrier, like the learning curve and all of that stuff is hard to overcome when you first start.
Right. And I know, at least for me, what keeps me coming back are the people, right? So nothing, if it's harder, for the hobby, if it's harder than I think it is, and there's nobody to drive with, that's just, you're done, right? So if it's harder than you think, right, but there's somebody there, right, and they're there all the time, and they're there, okay, do you want to chase? Do you want to lead, right? What do you want from me, right? Just having that moral support, I think, is going to help just the hobby so much longer in the long run for keeping the new person retention and really having them enjoy their time here, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I know that we've talked about it before, but like having that mentor, having that person that you can grow with, or just be able to ask questions openly, like whoever that person at the track is, or the Mitch of Rolling Garage, right?
If you just, when you're starting, and if you have one kind of anchor person that you're at least, because that's the other thing that's hard, is like not only is the actual hobby itself hard, a lot of us are not super extroverted people. Some of us are, but a lot of us aren't. And so when you're at a new place with doing something you've never done before, you don't feel good about the way that you do it. It's really challenging to like even break the ice with someone you don't know, a complete stranger that's just watching you smash into the wall left and right. So yeah, super important to have that one person there as your anchor that's like, willing, they're willing to help you. They'll answer your questions. That's a lot of where the track staff comes in, and having to be welcome and open to new people. But I mean, that's just, it's so obvious, if you're someone who owns the track, like, I have to get these people to come here and they have to stay here.
Right. Yeah. And like on our popular days, like everybody at the track is so great. Right. But I know, like, if people are coming in on the not popular days, it's nice for them to know that there's going to be somebody here, right?
Yeah.
Because I know it can be demoralizing if it's like, or it's good for them to know that the person behind the desk is also one of them, right?
Yeah.
That I can grab a car and be there
with you.
Right.
They're more comfortable with you already because they've already, by default, had to interact with you, and you recognize their face and everything. So it makes it a little easier. That's smart.
Another couple things we do that I think are just great things that I wish I saw more in the hobby is just like, we have a couple like TVs with like, house rules and stuff like that. And one of them is just, hey, what's our mission here? Right. We're here, to grow the hobby. We want to and just being open with that. Right. And just making sure that conversation is there. And we also have a TV that's just like, here's people's pictures and their names. Right. It's so much nicer to be able to just say, hey, John or Chris or whoever, like, I liked driving with you, right? And just being able to break that barrier, just to have a name, right, just does so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to see like 50 plus pictures up there now, because not everybody even takes their picture, but we've just had that many people in the few months that he's been open.
I really like that. That's really good, because that helps. Not only does it give you like fewer excuses, I would say, to like not talk to somebody, but also like, yeah, you're meeting so many people. It's like I can't remember anybody's name. So there you go. Just watch the TV. That's smart.
Yeah.
Just wait, it'll have driver's ratings soon enough.
Oh no.
It'll have a bracket.
This is him. He drives a YD2Z, and he's terrible. Don't ever drive him.
Right. He ranked 3rd overall last year.
Esha has a few good laps and will spin out in front of you.
Oh boy. Okay. So as far as what you wanted to also bring up, Chris, you wanted to talk about track layout, right? So
I love talking about track layout.
I kind of actually just want to break it down into like, what are some of the key components that are in a good track layout, and kind of, if you've had multiple tracks already, how many different like, do you have a singular section of your track that just never changes, or it's like it's always the same feature, like how we had at old PDX Underground? The far side was always a sweeper, like no matter
Yeah, we
what
kind
you
of
did.
always have a sweeper.
Yeah.
I will say real
Right.
quick though, like the picture that you showed Adam of the track, he already has, like, probably having just driven it tandem, like that is like the number one thing you should always have, which is a very long straightaway into like an over 90-degree corner. It looks intimidating and it probably could cause some issues with some people, but it's so much fun to drive once you nail it.
Wait, hold on. Let me actually rewind, because Jake had a question about the track first. So here's a video.
What's up with that speed jump, dude? You can't.
So we have a overpass that we can put in there
Okay.
for some of the layouts.
Sick.
There we go.
But have you tried to clear the gap or no?
Oh, people want to try every week.
I mean,
at least
did
get
the
like
math.
get like a basher in there to jump it while you guys are going.
Right, yeah. So this is our current layout. I think we've had this layout for about 2 or 3 weeks now. So this one isn't using the main straight. Mostly, we have a lot of new people, right? By the nature of
Yeah.
being new, and it was causing a lot of potentially high dollar amount crashes at the end of that straight. So
No, I
we
get
kind of
that.
slowed
I
it
get
down a
that.
little bit.
I totally get that.
So yeah, from my perspective, I kind of go in with the idea that we don't have a ton of space, right? So I don't necessarily have the luxury of repeating really any type of corner twice, right? So I go in with like, okay, we have our feature on the right there, which is our biggest kind of sweeper that we can fit in, and that's kind of been pretty standard in all of the layouts. And we kind of have the teardrop or the U-turn kind of options there. We used to have some, like, I guess to get a little mathematical on it, some high sweep angle, low radius corners, and we found those to be problematic, like areas where people would bunch up.
Yes.
So now I kind of have a mentality of the lower the radius is, the less sweep angle the turn can take. So that's why you're kind of seeing those more gentle S's through there, because those are the tight radiuses. So we don't want to have be 90-degree or 120-degree corners.
I see
right?
what you're saying. Yeah. So if it's a low radius, you don't want it to be a U-turn.
Right. Yep.
Yeah,
So our
okay.
first layout was pretty good, generically speaking, but we had a low radius 180, and it was the obvious pain point on the entire track.
Yes.
So then what I
Well, just from a standpoint of not even if all of the drivers are really good, if you look at any type of actual racing, right, on any part of a track where you have big, large radius turns or straightaways, the cars spread out, and then as you get to the tight hairpin, all the cars bunch up, and so when you have those tight turns, you're just compounding the likelihood of something going wrong and causing a pileup.
mhm.
So even without
Yeah.
people not being, extremely, even if people running out of talent, as TP 199 would say, you just you bunch people up there anyways. So it's like,
Right.
Hard.
Another trick that I like to use is because there's always the big sweeper into the corner, right? So those are like decel zones, and when you have decel zones, you start getting into backy territory, right? Which is fun and showy. But one thing that I there's a time and place for that, but I also really like going from lower speed stuff into bigger speed stuff, right?
Yeah.
So having a nice tight little technical chicane leading into the sweeper where you're actually trying to gain speed all the way through the sweeper. I feel like that tends to allow people to really gauge the lead really well visually, because you're not trying to guess how much they're going to slow down.
Mhm.
So that can lead, because we don't have a ton of room. Like if we had a 30-foot sweeper, you got 20 seconds to get up in the pocket. But, with what we have, you don't have that kind of time, right?
Yeah.
So being able to gauge that on the chase leads to that tight tandem quicker versus a decel zone. So there's, it's kind of tricks we're playing there.
Yeah, you have to play with the space that you have. And yeah, like you said, there's a fine line. So for me, there's a fine line between kind of the true challenge when you're doing a layout is that you're dealing with such a wide range of drivers of skill levels.
Yep.
But you have and also of just people, how much time is this driver going to spend at the track versus how much time is this more advanced driver going to spend at the track, right? So like it's another kind of layer to the challenge of like keeping everybody happy. But I find obviously when you have a track where momentum is kind of very closely maintained, it doesn't go too high, it doesn't go too low, it's just kind of always natural, and you're not having a turn, the speed you exit one turn with is the perfect speed to enter the next turn with. That's all very fun and flowy, and it's easy for tandem, but then the downside is that it can kind of be boring fast for the people that are there a lot. So it's always hard to balance between keeping it easy to drive, keeping it flowy, not avoiding those decels because those are going to be your pain points, but then also like keeping it entertaining for the people that are going to be there the most. It's really hard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100% agree.
But that's why I like the what was that?
Sorry, I was going to tell him how many layouts that he has in that new design.
I could see a bunch of little exits and on-ramps, but I love the section that you had with the new extension where it's the straightaway into that like over 90-degree, pretty short radius turn. Like I said, that feature is probably, if you're, I don't know, it's just one of the more fun features to drive, and it's probably one of the harder ones to do as well, because anything low speed is hard, but then you combine that with being at your fastest speed on the whole lap, then it's like a whole nother realm of difficulty.
Yeah, and with that, it's kind of nice with having the layout with the barriers I can change, is we have just the full straightaway, like the send it straightaway.
Yeah.
Then we also have a little chicane that we have in there. So if we block off the straightaway, make people take the chicane, it's kind of like the training wheels version, because it's going to slow you down a little bit and make sure that your momentum's at least going in the correct direction by the time you get to the sweeper. So we kind of got a few different ways to work people up into the confidence needed to like. And there's a lot of people that just haven't driven RCs. Like I didn't touch an RC controller until 2 years ago. And just like 2 years ago, if you put a controller in my hand, I couldn't drive the car straight, let alone drift. So, And
the other part that you're balancing now is that even though obviously people in your area have drifted for a long time, but it's still such a young track, and you're having a higher ratio of like newer drivers than other more established places, right? So it's the same. Like if you look at tandem, like obviously there's really good drivers down there, but Ron hasn't felt comfortable doing something like that, until now. Which that track's been around for a really long time. So it's just it's like you guys have this track's only been over for 4 months. Your average experience level might be a little lower than a lot of places, so you have to kind of take that into account as well.
Right.
But do you guys feel like you have that wide amount of variety of like driving skill, or do you feel like you're more so growing together at the same pace because you are so
it's kind of a weird one, because like I said, Ricky, who's the kind of the lead guy at Drift Ninjas RC, like that club has kind of been transcend the actual RC track scene in Michigan, right?
Sure.
So those guys have been doing this for 10 years, right? So
Yeah.
if those guys show up, they're there to hang all day, right?
Yeah.
So then you have those guys with somebody that's been here for 2 weeks, right? And I guess we're kind of blessed maybe a little bit in that we don't have some people in the mid-range, because the mid-range people aren't good enough to drive around the bad people, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
That's
we
a skill.
have people that
Absolutely,
are
that's a
good,
skill.
right? So like we have the new people and the experienced people that are experienced enough to know how to work with the new people,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So I think we're kind of blessed in that way.
Yeah. That's cool.
How
have
hold on.
Go ahead, Adam.
Just want to put this in. DJ, did you see someone say do a kickflip?
I did.
Did you do a kickflip?
I did do the kickflip.
Okay.
But if you guys want, I'll do
Run it
another
back.
one.
Have your kickflip cam, dude.
Yeah, I did one of these numbers. I kind of flashed it, but I messed up, and then I freaked out,
Okay.
and I landed
There
it.
you go.
kinda like
Solid.
that was literally a rerun of what happened. If anyone saw earlier.
So I wanted to ask you guys, more focusing on yourself as drivers now, like what have you noticed yourself, like what has it been, have you felt has changed about your driving now being a track owner?
Yeah.
I guess do you want to go first on that one, hon?
Yeah, this is a question for both of you.
Sure. Well, I used to always just be, let's have fun. I want this to be fun. And if I crash every now and then, that's okay. But now I want to take it more seriously. I want to be able to do well in comps. So I'm willing to be there a lot more than I was in the beginning. And I'll ask him and be brave about making changes to my car, because I had it set up for the same way for several months and it just wasn't good as everyone else's, but I didn't care. I was happy with how it drove. And when I let him make those changes, I was just like, wow, this is so different. Why didn't I try this sooner? Just so much better control.
You got bit by the sweaty snake, dude. You're like trying hard now. I feel that for sure. That's funny. So have you I mean, obviously you're able to drive a lot more now. Do you feel like that's been a benefit?
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
My nerves are my worst enemy, so
Yeah.
I'll get nervous in trains and stuff, and I'll notice that I'm leading one for like 4 laps, and then after that it's like, oh dang, there's a wall.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger challenges you have to get over when you're getting started, is just like, it's okay. I'm at the front of this train and it's okay. It's fine. I'm good enough to do this.
Jake's comment. Even if your car drives good, it can always drive better. Take the risk to progress it and your tuning skills. I dig it.
Yeah.
And then you make one mistake and then your whole tune goes to crap.
Oh yeah, I get that. I went to an event in Chicago, I don't know, a month or so back now, and I'm just like, these guys are so good, and I'm like, well, I got to change everything now. So I just redid my car like 100% a little while ago, and I'm glad I did. It kind of worked out.
I like what Cam said. He said it could also drive worse, which is definitely true.
That's always the concern.
Random question about a motor, Ruben. Hey, I just bought a DX Type T. What is your guys' opinion on those 10.5s? Too much torque, for my opinion. Definitely too much torque. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called, like, it's too coggy. Like, you're basically applying a mechanical drag brake without anything else.
Yeah, the magnetism of the you want your car to roll if you're off the throttle, right? So if the that's the biggest difference between like drift spec motors and like buggy motors, is the magnetism of the magnets is like higher, so that if you have a race motor and you let off the gas, the wheels just immediately lock.
Yep. Versus
the drift spec motors have lower magnetism. This is what I'm just making all this up mostly, but you want your car to actually roll when you let off the throttle, so that the rear rolls, not just locks up immediately.
So a lot of people are actually using the Type R, the RPM type rotor for the DX motors. They're really, really good. They're fine. They're Yokomo motors. However, I did a swap. So the motor that I run in my high motor overdose, it's not a Galm anymore. It's a Yogi. But it's a Type R can with a torque rotor in it. And that seems to be a good balance. A little bit more torquey than a...
I'm in a world where I like the lowest torque possible.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I like low final drive. I have a 13.5 Merv. This is the stock rotor, and it's not burn tune what you would think with a low final drive. It's just like the motor can barely spin the wheels. They'll get going fast, but it's tough.
I guess we should ask the question: burn tune, no burn tune? Yes, no.
So you're talking at our track.
Yes.
So the kind of was talking with earlier that we're trying to kind of mimic whatever kind of the main scene, SDC, love it or hate it, they're kind of the ones setting the standard, right?
True.
At least in America.
Very
So
true.
we're kind of following suit with them. And as a track owner, I like the fact that people aren't tearing up my tile, right? So the vote is definitely no. It's one of those things like I wish we had a better definition of what no meant. And maybe we'll get there someday as a community of what no means. But right now the official ruling is no.
Do you think you'll go as hard as a motor limit and an FDR limit, just like what we were hearing last week from the competitions?
I mean, if that's what the community to decide. So like it's one of those things where it's like ultimately at the end of the day the rule is no. Right.
Sure.
So if you have a motor limit and FDR limit and whatever, and you can still burn tune, like you're still breaking the rules, right? As far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Right. So I view them
the point
as
I was trying to make last time. I was like, it is banned. It doesn't matter what the other constraints are. It is just banned.
right. But if it's like I could see from a consumer perspective of, hey, I want to be respectful. How do I follow that rule? Right. It's like, okay,
for sure.
If you're in these parameters, you're probably okay. Like I can see that incentive as well. So, again, I'm big on have the open, candid conversation before it's a problem. Right.
Yeah.
And as long as you're doing that, then everybody's going to probably come out pretty happy.
Yeah, I think I agree with the sentiment from last week that it's like people will do anything they can to skirt the rules or whatever, and I agree with that. Like, it's just the way it's human nature to like just do anything possible to achieve your goal, right? But I do believe that if we are capable of just saying it's not allowed, and that being the end of it, right?
I just want to take the second to say, Chris, if I have to like open a dictionary or ask you for definitions of what words mean in your question, I'm probably not going to ask it.
What did he ask?
How has your recent foray, I don't know if that's a spelling thing or something else, foray into RC been accepted by other aspects of RC? And do they have a local hobby shop that's all purpose versus DD? What does DD mean? I know it means direct drive in sim racing, but which is niche, or do they have other RCs like mini Zs or non-drift? So this is a question about other hobby shops.
Yeah, I think I follow the conversation. So we do have kind of one, let's call it more all-purpose shop. They have on-road, they have off-road, they have mini Zs, and a big shop area, right? But for whatever reason, I don't know the reasoning why they don't allow drift on any of their tracks. So then we have a second area or a second track that is very competitive on-road, like carpet, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive buggy. They're actually like on the national circuit. So like that's their shtick. That's all they do, right? So we don't have, I guess, from the drift perspective, our shop and then 517, which may or may not be closing or finding new ownership, are kind of the two dedicated public drift tracks in the area. And we have some amount of merchandise. We're trying to do our best, right? But there's nothing that's like a drift merch specific kind of shop. We do have other hobby shops in the area. I think Jake, he works at Nankin, I believe is the name of that hobby shop. So we have some other ones as well. So there's, big metropolitan area. There's probably even more I don't even know about, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Miles coming in with, what wheel is everyone's favorite to run? Jake already answered the question, but yeah. I mean, but like, what actual wheel, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too clued in on that game, to be honest. I have wheels that I found. I have like Integras that I found that I liked. I don't like go around and squeeze wheels or anything.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that level in the game yet. Like, I'm still working on fundamental grip kind of things. Like, that level is beyond me still.
Give it a try. Like, it's the easiest thing to do. Like, what wheels are you on currently?
So on my car, I recently went to DS Racing 5 spokes. I do have a set of top line super high tractions and back that I'll probably go to eventually, try those out. I'm also messing around with the aero covers, seeing if that makes a difference. I guess I think it's one of those things where my driving skill or driving consistency is maybe the way I'd put it, isn't good enough for me to be able to tell the difference yet, but we'll see over time, I suppose.
Right. The wheel that I'm running is the DS Racing Feather, I think is what it's called. I don't know. It looks really good. I like it. And they're high traction. I hate their multi-piece wheels because they're bricks, basically.
Those things are crazy rigid. It's insane.
They're bricks, and like you can not mount them right, and then they'll be off balance and all
it's
that
nice that
stuff.
they're adjustable, but
yeah. This is what I'm running right now.
Yeah, that's the
exactly
same that Adam's talking about.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly. I have those in bronze on like all my cars.
Yeah, it's one of those too.
Shameless plug.
Yes, those they're great. I love them.
Yep.
Shredcraft. What is the definition of burn tune massive wheel speed? Not just in the wheel speed game. There's more variables to that.
it's literally as simple as if you're melting the plastic on the tire. That's it, to me.
Yeah, and it should be as simple as that definition too.
If the plastic on the tire is getting so hot that it is like starting to deform and tear away, then it's a burn tune and that's just the definition of it. And then there's also like a question, like David was saying, confusion between it being a competitive advantage, instructive thing to the track. It's both of those, but it's also not inherently a competitive advantage, because when your plastic on your tires is that hot, your car will accelerate faster, but obviously that's not always a good thing. So, if you're accelerating faster than someone because your plastic on your tires is melting, and then there's a really tight turn and you're chasing them, obviously that's not going to help you. It's going to be really hard to stay behind that person. So that's kind of the magic of what Rio did, is that he was able to utilize it to get down the straightaway.
The range of performance.
Yeah, he's able to utilize it on the straightaway to gap everyone, then drive with a really high wheel speed, but also not exceed that moment of like actually melting. So like this is my theory, is that he was, in the gentleman's area, he was melting the tire, getting the tires hot. He was using that added grip to run down the straightaway, chuck it into the sweeper, and then back off. Actually keep the wheel speed as low as he could so that they cooled down, and then the rest of the track he was kind of driving like normal. That's my theory.
Yep.
What's your guys' opinion on gentleman areas? Like, is that something that we should be seeing as standard procedure? Like, what are your thoughts?
Weird. It's kind of weird to me. I don't understand the point of it. I get like getting into the flow of the drift before you're actually being judged. I could kind of
Oh.
understand that, but to me, it's just like that. I'd rather have that be part of the track. You know what I mean?
Have we ever had those in any of our tracks, Logan?
Not really. We
Yeah,
we might
like-
have like a turn that's like, you know, we might start one turn before the actual initiation point.
Interesting.
But that's mostly just because of like logistics of like starting people in a place where people can line up and stuff.
Ray, why? Why?
What?
Which RTR is best?
Oh,
Okay.
The one you can get in your hands and drive.
That's a good answer. I like that
that
answer.
is a good answer.
There are various variations of that as far as like the different cars that you can get a hold of, but I do agree that the MST RMX 2.5 is probably the better of the
If you're talking
RTRs.
about purely taking it out of the box and putting it on the track, I think that's probably accurate.
Yeah, I mean, watch James. Like, James
True.
just drives the rental cars. He drives a Fortec around too, and does really, really well.
Ray, first time watcher.
Yeah,
Welcome, Ray.
yeah, Ray. Sure, Ray. Are you guys actually serious about having a call-in section of the
No,
stream?
we're not doing that.
That's oh boy, that could be so good and so bad at the same time. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I actually want to shift into your chassis, and we'll talk about your chassis for a bit here. So I'm going to do this
I'll be back.
thing. Okay, so who are we looking at? It looks like it's a shark.
Yeah,
That's
that would be
Kristen.
mine. Yep.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what you did, what your decisions were. What are
Yeah.
these magnificent big front body posts here?
So yeah, there's a lot of different things going on in here. So this is my most recent rendition. From the body post perspective, is I started with a MD1 was my first car, and it didn't have standard body posts, so I just got used to the system of 3D printing my own to fit whatever body.
Sure.
So it's just been downhill from there. So every single body gets its own custom body posts, and that one has just been me crashing. And every time I crash and bust a body post, it gets a little bit thicker. So this is like body post number 10. So she's real chunky at this point.
So for
but
each revision, how much thicker are you making it?
probably like 0.5 mil, something like that.
That'd be hilarious. It's like version 50. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah. But the most kind of the driving characteristic for my design recently has been like, again, not in this very long, could be 100% wrong here, but logically it makes sense to me, is that we don't have rubber tires, right? So the only way to get more grip is to move the weight around.
Sure.
But when you move the weight around, you want that to be predictable. So to me, the most predictable feeling one is a car with very soft springs that wants to move around. But I also am not a big fan of cars that really like have a lot of momentum in the corners, and the sharks are really heavy, right? So I wanted to be able to drive out of a corner without having to feel like I have to like wait for the car to settle back down, then punch out. So for me, a lot of what I did is just move as much weight, like remove weight, and then move as much weight as I can lower in the vehicle so that I can keep the weight balance where I want it, but keep the moments of inertia as low. And
Ooh,
even with like the rear, so I do a rear battery mount instead of a rear ESC mount. They weigh about the same, and the weight transfer or the weight bias is about the same, but the ESC center of gravity is further back. So by just having the same weight bias, but closer to the axle, it actually has less inertia and it will transition quicker, and you don't feel as much of that pendulum momentum as you do of having, 70-30 weight balance. So it's just kind of engineering principles of keeping the weight as optimally placed as possible, right?
Sure.
You and I would get along great, Chris. That's like you're like preaching to the choir right now. Nobody listens to me when I'm talking about this kind of stuff.
So I am noticing quite two main big things here. One, that you're actually running a forward motor position on a shark. That's interesting. Like, but that also like coincides with your placement of the battery there. So okay.
So part of that is also that I was blowing top shafts like every weekend. So I went to the belt drive, and when you go to the belt drive, you can't run the full back position because you need room for the belt. So if I can't have full back, then I went full forward instead because I wanted to keep it low.
Sure.
So then I just went motor full forward and then put the rest of the weight as far back as possible to still get the bias I was looking for.
How is everybody blowing out their top shafts or like breaking belts or anything? I don't know how
I have
people
never
do
broken
it.
A belt.
I've never
That
broken a
belt
belt.
is the same one I've had on. But the top shaft, I think it's a manufacturing defect,
But
to be honest.
it's across the manufacturers, because I've seen Rhino, I've seen Yokomo, I've seen MST. MST transmissions just blow up anyway. I've seen like the Rev D top shafts even. Like, I don't know what people are doing to like break these things.
It's user error.
Like, it has to
Maybe,
be.
yeah. I don't know what I like.
People are spinning them faster than they're designed to be spun.
Yeah, I know that when I changed to the belt drive, which fundamentally makes it go from a 4-gear to a 3-gear kind of setup from an engineering sense, that like everything just worked better. My motors were cooler, like the transmission like speeds were way better, my grip profile was way better. Like just everything clicked when I went to belt drive.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Jake just noticed your front shocks.
Yep, that's where I was going. So any method and explanation behind your front?
More weight closer to where his center of gravity is for the chassis, I would guess.
Yeah, part of it was I'm just too dumb for the IFS stuff to make sense to me. So like, why add extra complexity that I don't truly understand?
Dude,
like, just admit,
you and I are on the
admit that I
same
don't know what
page.
I'm
It's
doing.
Crazy. It's insane.
So it's just simpler, right? And then
Yeah.
moves the weight lower in the chassis, right? So I have less of that side to side moment of inertia to deal with. And then it also removes like 10 parts from the thing. I lost probably 40 grams by removing that. So, and then I added it back in wheel weights, right? So I did put the wheel weights in, but I put them down low where I wanted the weight,
I love you, Chris. I love you so much. What is this? What is your car weigh? Oh, let's do this. What is your car weigh without ballast and with ballast?
I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I think we're at like 13. No, not. Or so I measured it without body, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, so I think I'm like 1350 without body, I think is the number that's coming to my head.
So you're
And then
close
I
to-
added
with weights.
And then with weights, I added another 20 grams to the front.
Okay, interesting. What's your balance? Weight balance?
66. What's that? Then 33
Okay.
or 34. Math is hard.
Yeah. I like that.
By the picture, you would never guess that, though. That's hilarious.
Right? Because you're looking at a
You
battery
guess
on the
more
back
to
of
the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was guessing more 70-30 because of the battery, because of the ESC.
I
The motor's
run
forward,
little
the
guys.
ESCs and yeah.
Like these are only like 3500s, so
Mhm, sure.
they're not the heaviest batteries you've ever seen.
I dig it though. So my car, I haven't weighed it in the current configuration, but it was with a body, fully dressed. It was 1298 grams, and then I added back like 120 grams or so.
Okay.
Similar to you, like where I want it, right?
Yeah, makes
pretty
sense.
Great.
Yeah, I know. Like the standard Shark deck has just got so much aluminum on it. I went to the
Right.
Hydra decks just to
heavy.
get rid of that aluminum.
Yeah.
Are you running
cool.
the standard Hydra deck or the Flex Hydra deck?
I'm running the standard Hydra deck, and I'm even in the top deck. I went a little bit thicker. I think I
Sure.
went like 3 mil instead of 2.5, which I think is their standard.
Okay.
Yeah, just the flex deck to me is just another one of those things I don't understand and don't want the complexity, right?
There's no reason to add more variables.
It's to try them and then to find out that you totally went the wrong way with your decisions, and then you slowly go back and then try to remake all those decisions again. All right.
Hey, shout out to usually when the Rolling Garage channel chats, it's just Mitch, but we got one from Carl, so there you go.
So that's
We're
what that
moving up in
means.
the world. We got 2 of the owners now. We got a couple more. We need Ryan and Ike, and we'll get the full set.
What does he say? If you watch Kyoshu's video for the new chassis, if you look in a later part of the video, the electronics changed to a GYD 550 and a Futaba servo, and from stock wheels to dynamic.
Which just means there's an upgrade path to make it really drive good. So no problem with me.
So are we looking at the same car here, or is this Isha's car?
No, that's Isha's.
This is my car. It's actually Chris's former car. I used to always drive my GTR body with the blue-purple color shift wrap. But I do want to point out the wheels, since you were talking about those earlier. I get a lot of compliments on my nice shiny wheels, and they came off of one of our ready-to-run rentals because I saw those, and Chris remembered I liked them, so he put them on there for me.
I had a set of those, and I put them on my my foam core board version of a food truck that I brought to Hot Import Nights one year.
That's cool.
Looked good. So what are we dealing with here? We are, tell us a little bit about your
Holy
chassis.
wires.
Hey, let's figure out the chassis
Okay.
first.
It's not roast my rig yet.
It's totally okay. This is a Yokomo SD2. I ran a ready to run for several months, and this was my wedding anniversary gift from Chris in June. So this it's got an AccuVance motor and an S-Bus, which Ricky always tells me, dang girl, you're running some killer stuff. But Chris is my mechanic, and he puts everything together for me. I'm thankful for him because I'm an artist. I'm not a mechanic. And I just want to thank you for having us both on the show. I've been waiting for a polite way to check myself out. I can get some sleep and he can shine. So thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it. It was nice talking to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
If you ever want to be on again, just let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be here.
Appreciate that.
All right. Well, you have a good night. I'll shift some cameras around, and we'll keep on going from there.
Thanks, you as well.
Well,
Yeah, so just kind of add some more details on it. It's pretty much a stock SD2, and I know nothing about any of the actual like alignment settings because I'm very much like change it until it drives right, and then if somebody asks me, I'll put it on the alignment rack so I can get them a number. But it's really like just adjust it until it drives the way you want, and then like don't worry too much about the number itself.
Yeah.
sorry, I'm fixing your frame here.
Oh, no worries.
We're adjusting.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. So with all the wires and everything, I just, been playing around with, front motor, rear SC, ESC, yada, yada, yada. So I just like keep the wires long so I have the most amount of movement so I can place stuff, and then just zip tie out all the excess into tails.
Right on. Okay. Let's keep on going through. What servo is this on here?
So the servo is the Futaba. I can't remember the exact model number of it.
But it's one of the expensive ones, huh?
Yeah, it's one of the nice ones.
There you
I
go.
just put the same, because I'm, like she said, I work on both our cars. I'm like, okay, we're going to put the same stuff on both cars. I don't want to like have to learn how to tune two different things. So I'm just like, buy it once, learn it, get the good stuff. hopefully it lasts more or less forever, and just work from there.
So Team Dark, you guys, just heads up, something in the pipeline. I think May 1st is going to be the first issue. Dark Mag, you guys. Dark Magazine. Have you guys heard about it?
I heard about that.
Okay, so I just want to do a little plug here for Steve. Dark Mag is going to be a thing. It's going to be a physical magazine that you can order. There's also a website, darkmag.com. It'll be pretty cool. So, like, interviews from different track owners. What we're doing here, I've actually been asked to be an interview writer as an article
funny.
there.
Nice.
Although, oddly enough, I was like spazzing out about it with Steven a bit about it. So we flipped the switch. He did an interview with me, and then I'll go ahead and pick it up for the months after. So
Nice.
check it out. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
the
that's
body.
sick. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah. My biggest thing is that since it's physical, that's the real
they're actually
curious
printing
process.
it.
Yeah. And he's got some pretty big brand names already buying like full page ads and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, that's how I heard
That's
about
awesome.
it. We got offered, obviously to participate in the advertising part of it.
So Logan, level 28 rotor agile.
That's what I had. I like my Merv better now.
Merv. So you're officially converted?
Yeah, 100%.
Right on.
I just mostly like, it's not even the Merv itself as a motor. I mean, AccuVance motors feel great, but it's like the fact that the car, like, I'm not missing any power, and the car is over 100 grams lighter. By itself. Obviously, I
And
don't
it's still
advocate.
doing-
I don't always advocate just taking 100 grams off of your car, but if you can take 100 grams off and add it back as ballast, that's a positive to me. So that alone makes it worth it.
Okay, you guys. Chris, are you ready for roasting some people's rigs?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to squint at my screen here, but we can see what we can do.
Okay.
It helps if you, in the Google Meet, if you change the layout to Spotlight and then pin Adam, it'll be a little bigger for you.
That sounds like an awful lot of shit I don't know how to do. We'll make it work.
Let me grab a new Windows source here.
Okay, I think I figured some of it out.
Okay. I want to this.
Yeah, I got no ground to stand on for any of this though. This is glass houses all the way.
That's okay. You just roast away.
Well-
The great part about Roast My Rig is that you have a mic and nobody else does.
Right. Hold on, let me get it there first though. I want this. Oh, it's so big. Bit. And we're gonna drag it around a little bit.
Got that wing hanging a full 10 mils off further than the back of the bumper there.
Ooh, already.
I'm not a fan of it. I like to know that my wing, like the wing is what I can see, and I want that to be the back of the car. I don't like when either the wing or the back bumper are not aligned. Kills me.
Yeah, because that would definitely get caught up in like the Super G fence or something.
Right.
Not ideal.
It doesn't look bad from this angle. I like it.
Oh, it looks great. I'd be hung up on the trees.
Okay, what do we got here? We got a mishmash of
The
tons of
DC
colors.
10,
So we got the
every color.
blue,
Is that
purple.
XT10 on there?
It's a XT60.
Yeah.
60?
The Amazon special body mount.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was.
That gives Fast and Furious super vibes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the orange. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that. More ridiculous, the better. Yeah, I appreciate somebody else with my same wiring setup on the motor. Just get a nice big loop going in there.
Just make them as big as possible. You can never go.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Just
thermal
leave 'em all the way
capacity.
along. We gotta next time we gotta clean up a little bit next time though. Like your desk, whatever the desk pad mat thing is, needs to be retired. And then we just gotta clean up a little bit next time.
Mitch,
I
I
got
call it
toothpick in the background.
multicolor Neapolitan theme. Okay, moving on. What do we got here? So a Galm, aluminum rack. DJ, you're our Galm specialist here.
What are we looking at, DJ? What else does he need to hop up?
It's just not full option. That's all. That's all.
It's nowhere near full option.
Yeah,
This
I
is
feel
like
like we need an
20%.
aluminum spur.
Yeah, this is like 20% full option. And you have 17 different colors.
Got the Yokomo servo horn. I saw that. Where's the OD servo horn?
Yokomo.
That's a Yokomo servo horn.
The shocks are upside down. The front shocks.
Dow.
Upside down, right, forward. Who knows with those things?
Dow says
Allegedly.
my Galm is close to stock. Wink, wink.
Oh, he's got some arms. The rear.
The arms. Literally, there's not a matching color on this whole car. Like
Hey, the motor matches the motor plate.
the motor matches the
And the
arms and the motor plate. But the ESC's red, the gyro's blue, friggin' the hubs are red. It's like
My car
I
is
was
not for
looking at
you.
I was looking at the wear pattern on those rear tires. I don't know what's going on there.
ooh,
Oh, hold on. Let me bring it back up.
wear pattern roast. That's pretty serious. Oh, it is on the wrong side, huh?
Yeah,
Maybe he flipped them.
maybe. Yeah, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
What is this? That's like full size battery, high CG going on here.
What the fuck?
And it couldn't
This
just be a
is-
regular battery tray. It's like a
this
straight up
is-
parts tray.
This is
Right. Yeah.
someone just being way too high.
This is a serving tray.
I mean, maybe.
Hey,
It
props. It's on the RMX.
Is that like
Yeah,
a
that's
stock RTR motor?
could- Yeah.
Yeah.
So this,
Okay,
Yeah, this is the guy to be
heavily
worried about, though. Like, if you
Outside
buy this
ripper.
car and the only mod you make is this, you know what the fuck you're doing.
I mean, it's got the big battery pack, so dude, this thing is outside ripper for sure for weight shift.
I mean, just look at those tires. Of course, it's outside.
Well, that's what I don't get. The front tires are smoked, and then the rears are like fine.
Even more smoke. No, those
No.
things are even more smoked.
Yeah, rear
They're
tires are
completely
shredded.
flat.
They look just old. They don't look like the fronts look like they've been driven in like Baja.
Okay, another Josh Geeg setup.
Dude,
Here
this
we
guy's
go.
not allowed to submit to roast my rig. It's just not
Ban him.
allowed.
Oh, come
Ban 'em.
on.
Yeah,
Get
right.
out of
Like,
here.
Ban them. Get them out of here.
Sir, your tires are a little bit too worn for the track. You need to replace those.
For this photo,
Gosh.
yeah, they're too worn.
You're banned. You're banned from roast my rig. We should just ban him from that. We should give him a role that doesn't have that channel.
Well,
The Josh
so that
channel.
the front wheel looks like it's wider than the front tire. It's poking on the inside.
I'll give him that.
That's pretty common.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
My
Yeah.
setup is like that for sure.
But man,
God.
what?
This fucking guy.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Like what RC car needs that quality of a roll cage in their build?
Yeah,
no,
my
hold on.
Is it
Oh my
Dude.
God.
I think I see something I could go off of.
Nail him. Smoke him,
Uh,
DJ.
I think I
Well,
saw
panel
some
gap, first of
titanium
all.
screws on the top deck, but then there was only some steel looking like hardware.
Ooh,
I can't
mixed
tell
match
though.
screws.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I can't tell there.
Yeah,
It looks like at least one of those
It's a
is
hard.
high.
It's a hard one. So
Yeah, that's pretty sus.
I'm pretty sure other
clean it
things,
up.
other
It's not
things
good
make
enough.
up here.
Oh, the boys don't like the arrow catch.
I don't know. My big complaint is no matter how good, like my best body is still trashed. Like this hasn't seen track time. Like, come on. Like I want to see you
True.
out on the track with this with 10 new guys with the rentals. Like, you gotta put your money where your mouth is here.
Doesn't Josh do all of his painting, like the livery stuff and the words in paint?
I assume so. I don't know.
It's very
I haven't-
it's catching to see a vinyl sticker camo on the top there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. He's certainly capable of just painting it all. So.
Yeah. So who needs a rear bumper when you have
Yeah.
like a huge rear diffuser?
God, that looks too good.
That's pretty accurate, right? Like,
Yeah, like it's fine.
fuck a bumper. We got this diffuser.
This only got 100% and one fire. Okay. So next up, we got Trey, local Oregonian. Let me clean up some. Oh, sorry.
That's not Trey.
Trey.
It's got the barbed wire tattoo built into the wall. I like it.
So this is an interesting story. I'll leave it at that. That's an interesting story.
I'll give him props in the LiPo bag.
I was gonna say that. There is a LiPo bag. So this is his first car, I believe. First or second car, something like that. First car.
What's the story behind the diff protector things, the axle protector?
So he bought
Actually,
I think it's a CLSD.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
And he
And
did
had like a Z or something.
Yeah, so he had the steel outdrives.
Yeah.
And then basically he didn't have the white plastic thingamabobs. So he totally just ate into the aluminum outdrives.
Oh, he sent it.
He sent it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a decision. I almost made that decision. Luckily, I had an advanced user at the track way back in the day to prevent me from doing that.
Like,
I just about did the same thing. My first diff, it came pre-assembled, but it didn't come with lube inside of it or diff oil. So I'm just like, oh, pre-assembled beats pre-assembled, right? I drove a thing for 6 months with no lube in that diff.
People do that on purpose anyways.
I mean, but there's something in there. Like, there may be 1 or 2 drops or of something, right? Not just straight up dry.
No, I think people just do that on purpose without opening those up ever.
Yeah, I should probably check mine then.
Like, sure, maybe. Trey, wheel gap. What is this wheel gap thing going on?
Yeah, we got to work on that fitment there. There was a Facebook post this week that was asking like, how often do you re-grease your CLSD? I was just like, what?
I mean, mine like free spins like no other.
You're lucky if anyone ever put grease in it in the first place. And 2, I'm never taking that shit apart ever in my life.
Right. Yeah, CLSD is definitely in my too complicated category. Mine got real crunchy, and I put a bevel gear in and ran it from there.
So CLSD is another thing that people are always blowing up that I have no idea how people are blowing up.
I've never harmed a CLSD.
Like, even the big drivers, right? Whoa.
Excuse me.
Like, even the big name drivers are like blowing up CLSDs too, and it's like, I don't understand how people are doing that.
Is that what happened to Vittorio? Did he have a CLSD?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter for Vittorio right now. He's driving GRK.
Oh right.
Really doesn't matter.
Whatever happened to Vittorio this last comp they did?
Yeah, something about the outdrives on a CLSD, like the amount of complete trash tolerance from the outdrive is absolute garbage.
I've never had an issue.
Hey Trey, let's pull some. Let's get your Ackerman a little bit more parallel. Let's try that.
Yeah, that's too open.
Yeah, little too open. Yeah.
Although if it drives right, then don't touch it.
For sure. For sure.
Oh boy. Are you running 64 pitch? Huh. I can't make fun of it because that's what I do.
He said you set that up.
Hey, there. Okay, if I did, then it was like a quick thing. But quick steps. Because this is a.
Is the ESC like facing up? Like it seems like a weird orientation for that ESC mount.
No, it's going back.
It's going back?
It's straight back. Yeah.
Turbo.
I got it. Looks like it's got like 3 fans on it.
Oh no, that's just the milling of the side of the ESC and then going into a fan. Like they have the same.
Looks like a CPU cooler on there.
They need vapor chambers for ESC. That'd be cool.
Yeah, there we go. We need a cool, like a water loop.
I'm not trying to backpedal, but I will put any car that's brand new.
I'll defend Adam here. If someone's asking me for help, I'm not gonna sit there and do every single thing that I can. I'm just gonna do the best with what is in front of me.
Mm-hmm. I think this is my old chassis. Like not the full chassis, but the chassis plates. So many things happen. If I remember them, if I don't remember them, I'm sorry. But so many things happen. Okay, we're moving. Panda, Dow, Mr. Dow, let's bring your stuff up. As if we haven't seen it enough. You're getting to that point where we just start skipping it. Oh, look.
Are the treads facing opposite directions on those front tires?
They sure are.
You're better than this.
On both sets, front and rear tires.
Come on, what are you doing?
And it's not like these tires are even directional. You just messed up.
But, I don't think that it's the tires are all the same. So you're just gonna have that.
Oh, are they? There's no left and right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. Oh,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't sleep at night.
Have I told you about the RC Art wheels? They look like the Turbomac wheels. They only go one direction. There's no left and right, and they're directional wheels. And they're so good. They just needed to make another side. Man. At least we have a functioning fan on this week's build, so that's cool.
The wiring looks pretty clean. Shout out to Miko for lurking this whole time. Who knows how long he's been watching.
They're asymmetrical, but the tread pattern doesn't translate left to right. Man.
Oh, they are asymmetrical. What the hell? That's so weird.
Man.
I mean,
what the hell?
What track is running those? That'd be my question.
Buzz brakes? You got me. I know people rave about that.
Battery tray on a purple golem.
Uh-oh. DJ, you just started it. Now chat's gonna call you out for Gollum again. Okay.
You know Hector has way too many parts in cars when he can tell the difference easily between Rev D screws and other screws. That picture sucks.
That picture does suck. This picture, not too much better.
Yeah, I'm not that I can't really handle the tires. For
Okay,
sure.
we're moving.
No,
We're
that's
moving.
so
Sorry,
smooth.
Dow. Sorry, Dow. We're just gonna keep on moving here. So D5 or D6, my bad. I think maybe Treadcraft D6. Honestly, I do think that all of the aluminum upgrades for a D6 looks pretty cool.
I'm not familiar with this chassis very much, to
I
be
mean,
honest.
these get shit on, but like realistically, this company is still developing their platform, and they've been doing it for a really long time. Sure, you can buy clones on certain websites, but like,
Oh, it's a clone. D5S
there you
clone.
go. It is a clone, but like, it's there's no reason fundamentally why this can't be a good drift car.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of stood out to me was that's an awful long belt on that
Oh
belt
wait,
drive.
no, never mind. Cam said it's trash.
No, all of the D6s that I've heard about, I haven't driven them personally, but they seem to be doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I stand by what I said. There's no reason why it can't be a perfectly fine drift car.
Yeah, I think, like, personally, every driver is going to go through a period of time where, like, either they're going to outdrive the car or their car is going to outdrive them. And then, they're going to either blame themselves or blame the car. And, I think I spent a lot of time thinking my car was crap when I was crap, So, you'll come around on it even if it's something that's maybe not as popular, right?
Is this like the updated Scarab chassis, Fred? Is that what we're doing here?
It is the ultimate form of the Scarab.
I do like the polished motor, like the end and the bell caps. That's pretty nifty. What is
Cam with the
this?
fancy light box,
I know,
shitting on
right?
everyone that ever had a white piece of plexiglass.
Oh. I mean, remember when Vitali brought all that white plexi into PDX Underground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The minute I saw all that stuff, even before Vitali, we had from what was his name? Oh, dude, was it one of the Bens?
Maybe.
But we had like an all white plexi photo booth, and I was like, dude, you can't put a white plexi photo booth in a public spot and expect it to not get destroyed. But this is like next level. It's got backlighting, dude. What? So fancy.
I have always wanted to build one of these bodies. I've just never gotten around to it. What I need to do is I need to buy the Addiction Corolla body. That's what I need to do. They're in stock. I just haven't done it yet.
This thing is sick, by the way.
Yeah, it is. What? There's some texture in the top cover in the hood.
Yeah.
Or the
Wheel fitment. It's perfect. I love those. The fenders on this car are so good.
Okay, Drift.Odyssey. Bringing it
Got
in
homeboy Liam from RG
with some wheel weights on the shock tower.
Some calipers.
Yeah. Hey, this is cool. The cheap S-Bus adapter, everybody. This was the cheaper S-Bus adapter. It was like $43. And it can be updated. Not the 63 or something like that they're charging now.
Yeah. Yeah, just move the wheel weights lower. Get that COG lower to the ground.
Is that a RSST Pro in there? Hiding a little bit. Cool. Random zip ties here. Don't
That's my spec kind of wiring. At least he's got the plug covers.
Oh
I'm running the raw dog plugs, so
my gosh, you guys. Okay. Here we go.
this is it.
Ben did
Yeah.
such a good job.
I mean, that is the peak of RC body shells right there. It doesn't really get better than that.
Did you see the actual real picture of this car? Like the
Is
real?
this like M chassis scale, like wheelbase?
It is. But like this is actually based off of a real car too.
Oh, really? I did
Yeah.
not know that.
On his Facebook page, he posted this picture and the real one, and it's really, really, really close. I saw this down in Roseburg for the first time. I'm like, that is so cool.
I'm amazed at how, like, there's literally, like, what are the odds that there's a perfect car to represent Pikachu in real life?
And just so happened to be a beetle. So here is Chris and his Racer Boy heritage coming out as much as it can be. Good job, Chris. Oh, rolling
Yeah.
garage. Vittorio, take notes. Haha, that's a real Pokemon body. Hey, I would still take Vittorio's Pikachu body like any day.
Yeah, the fade didn't quite make it all the way to that bottom left corner of that side skirt.
That's part of the effect. It fades to white.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Then just
I dig that though. That, like, my style of livery is way more along the lines of buggies than what people do in drift. I don't know why. I just like it better.
you think? Huh.
For me, yeah.
No, Jake.
Hey, it's got that name for a reason.
That wing has been on there for so long.
Well,
that is a dangerous spot right there. You need some pool noodles.
yeah. So this is Jake's garage, and the name of this track is Garage Wing Break. That's part of the. That's like the whole thing.
Just new wing stands.
Yeah, we got some marks in the drywall with people with wings that hang off real deep.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, this is a feature, not a bug, of Jake's track in his garage.
It's a feature.
Working as intended.
Yes.
Oh. So before we started
Oh, there's
streaming,
probably video of that happening.
I shared this. This is kind of cool.
Dang.
Yeah, I've been seeing these. I think this has to be like an AI thing,
I wouldn't doubt it.
but that would be sick. I would totally buy a slide Hot Wheels if that was an
Yeah,
option.
for sure.
But I don't. What car even is that?
Looks like
It's a Corolla.
Corolla, yeah. But like the rear doesn't look quite right.
Well, it's a sedan. It's not the hatch, which is really, really weird.
Right.
Well,
Because it kind of. I mean, in any case, I'm on board if it's a real thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, if anybody, Slide Customs would be definitely like the name to get on that Hot Wheels.
Yeah, he's pretty up there.
Oh, I got my G Buster knuckles the other day.
Oh, how do you like? Oh, well, I guess you probably haven't driven them yet.
Yeah, isn't it hilarious? I have Team AD active toe. I've got G Buster knuckles, so like both my front and rear end are completely different now. So I have no idea how my car drives at all. So we'll find out on Saturday.
Hey, at least you have a good place to try it out. I mean, that's a huge track. We can show the track. I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't seen it, no.
They have pictures of the track already?
No.
Well, what's your guys' footprint over there? Like,
Oh, at our track, it's kind of I don't remember, but it's probably pretty close to what yours is, I would say.
A
Okay.
bit
Except
wider. We're
a bit wider,
Yeah.
and we have poles. Oh, there you go. Jake posted the track at Expo.
of
It
last
looks
year.
insane.
Is that wait?
Judd says 50 by 26.
Okay, yeah, significantly wider then. That's another 10
A bit
feet
wider,
over what
yeah.
I got.
But also,
Yeah.
like I said, we have 4 poles, like down
Sure.
about 4 feet off of where the drivers stand. And they're
Wait.
pretty big.
Is it wait? So is this year or is this last year?
That's this year. Show it. Yeah, and then he's gonna delete that picture. So,
Who's setting up the track?
Guy.
Oh, that's Guy.
Yeah.
I-
Can't you tell?
No, I can't tell.
I could tell
From
that's
that
Guy
angle?
from a mile away. Just from the way the track is.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more width in our track.
Yeah. That's
because
huge.
it would be nice to get a little bit more of a bigger radius sweeper in.
Right.
You know,
I mean, this must be like close to 50 feet wide. That back sweeper looks insane.
It's not that. It's the pants. Everyone's already
Oh,
pointing it out.
So I just realized, like, the funny thing is, the guy in the picture was actually obscured by my phone, so I was just looking at the track.
No, lucky.
yeah, I thought you just had like real intimate knowledge of that guy's particular setup.
Yeah, no. Well, so I looked at the track and I knew it was the guy track, but then I saw the guy in the photo, and then I definitely knew it was Guy.
Guy is a great track builder. There's no doubt about
really
that.
Good. He's done so many layouts because for him, like, you're talking about putting in a layout that's huge and driving it for 2 days and it being gone. So, like, he's been
That's a
doing
lot of
that
work.
for years. So yeah, and yeah, he's just really, really freaking good at it. He knows what to do. He can do it fast. He doesn't have to sit there and drive it for hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. I know when we did our expansion, I like spent 2 weeks like making engineering drawings and being like, when people got here, it's like, okay, you get this drawing, it has all the XY's, like mark all the circle centers, and then like, okay, you get here, here's your calibrated rope, you draw all the circles. So like,
Yeah.
just being able to like just whip that out, that's insane.
Yep.
That's like, I'm more of the calculated guy, you know, like to measure things and do stuff, because I draw. If I make a track, I draw it in like on the computer first. Guy just goes out there with a roll of tape and starts putting lines down, and it's insane. And it just works. It's crazy.
For sure.
All right, you guys. So we've made it to the end. We've already gone through all the roast my rigs, so it's going to be there. Post your projects, post your chassis and all that fun stuff there. There's different sections in the Discord for various reasons. Chris, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, for sure. I guess, thanks for having me, guys. It was great hanging out with all of you. Right now, we're mostly on our Facebook page. If you look for Drift Dojo on there, that's where we post everything. We're starting to get videos and pictures and stuff like that on Instagram and all the other stuff, but not quite yet. So just Drift Dojo on Facebook. If you want to find us, you can find us on Google as well. So track information and contact information there too.
Right on.
Adam, Jake really wants you to look at the videos.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Okay, hold on. Let me do some switching around here. I will admit that it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, so this is only level 1 of this trick. We're gonna expand this, but yeah. So we got the old moving car ollie onto the picnic table.
Whose car
RC
is that?
RC Driftfoot Network. If you're out there, that is Jake's car, a new body that he had just got. Jake just bought a GRK 5R conversion.
And it came with a body.
Yes. And the thing is sick too.
Oh, I bet it is. Okay, you guys.
Yeah, we already got plans to expand this, but if RC Drift Network is watching, challenge, there you go. That's it.
So, is the goal to be like Red Bull and like the train thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that would be pretty insane. You know, that, yeah, maybe long term, but we already have the next plan. The next plan is pretty sick.
DJ, can you line up that many tricks in a line and be 100%?
I guess
I don't
Jake,
think I'm ready for that yet.
we probably Jake need to just post this on like the Drift PDX account or something so that it goes to the right people.
All right, you guys. Chris, hang out for a little bit afterwards. We'll just do a quick little roundup. As far as everybody else goes, holy crap, that's a big me. Let's make that better. It's been fun hanging out. If you're going to be there at PDX, not PDX, the Hobby Expo, I will see you there. DJ will see you there. Logan will not see you there, apparently.
No, sir.
I'm sure if everyone pressures him enough, he might feel bad.
Nope.
Logan, again, my dad is like 20 minutes away in Everett.
I know. I'm going to go hang out with your dad. I don't understand. Like,
if anyone wants a good place to go, shopping like eBay stuff from Bye, go there. Kenneth's got the idea. Bye. Sorry, that ended horribly. Okay, I'm ending it. Later, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for coming and checking us out. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Jake says stay off of Bye.